Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black Heel Podcast, where Scott and Mike are going to be talking about a couple of things. The big thing is we're going to be talking about the latest teaser trailer, sorry, of Doomsday, the last teaser trailer to our knowledge that we are aware of. There could be more coming, but that's the last one that was announced. Then we're going to be moving on to Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League, and then ending with a character spotlight from Mike. So let's get right into this. The trailer. I thought this was interesting because it starts off, and I think what throws me off is it's Namor and his people first, right? Um, and they look like they're on land, but it's
Uh,
hard to tell.
they really didn't
It was hard.
show. It really only showed Namor. Like that. Like it
No,
showed him.
they showed Namora
That I don't remember then. But either
because there
way,
was
you
a
couldn't really tell because it was just such a focus on the people that it didn't really show too much of the background. So it was difficult to
so
tell.
so the reason why I mention it is because they were all regular skin tone and not blue,
Hmm.
which then would make me think they were underwater, but they had the mask on, which confused me. Although she was turning blue in the trailer, so I don't know if it was like some like daylight thing going on as well. Like who, I I don't know how their powers work. I'll be honest with you.
I
Like I
mean,
was under the impression it was blue outside of water, regular skin tone in water, was what I thought.
in terms of like what their skin tone is going to be, I don't remember what it looked like from the Wakandan movie. Um,
Yeah, they were blue they were blue outside of the water when they were on land, and then they had normal skin tones when they were out in the water.
yeah.
And Namor was the only one who wasn't affected because he was half human.
Yeah, I remember Namor being perfectly fine. Like I said, I don't remember what his people were like. I'm rewatching the trailer so I could tell you. Oh, yep. That is normal skin tone with the mask. That is very much in our face. No, that's definitely land. That is definitely land. It looks like they're in.
Like a desert area, right?
Yeah, it looks very. It
Okay.
looks like the desert where
They
Shiri
fought.
and M'Baku are.
Okay. So you get my point. It was just weird that they weren't blue.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, she looks a little bit.
like she's turning blue.
Well, I was gonna say she looks pale.
Well, that I mean that could be just a guess. But I mean we'll find out more, I guess. That was the only thing that threw me off. Everything
Oh,
else was
wait. I just paused it. Okay, she is blue. All the people in the background are blue. Her face is regular skin tone, and her neck, like her literally her jaw down, is blue.
interesting. No, I believe
I
you. I believe you.
I
Which is
will.
probably why I assumed she was changing. I gotta watch that movie again. Maybe she was pale the entire time in the face. I thought she was blue in the face. In the movie, I mean. I'm not talking about the
Yeah, no,
trailer.
no, no. In the movie, yeah. I don't remember that. Like I don't remember it at all. So like,
That's interesting. I assumed she was changing color. So I do know that they do change color from water to land.
yep.
Namor is the only one that does it, obviously. So then we have, which I find interesting that it's Ben Grimm meeting with the Wakandans. Um,
I assumed they were all there. It just only focused on Ben.
well, I'm wondering if they all split up because they all were told to go meet with the leaders of the nations. And so, like, they were going to see each team members. Again, I'm only stating that because we see none of the others
Yep.
in the trailer.
Yep.
So, and Baku as the king is awesome. Um, I don't know why, but I just like him as the king. I just find that to be hilarious, but also like I feel like he'd do a great job, obviously. So we also see Shuri there, which is the obviously this is the first time we've seen any of them since their movie. So obviously time has passed. We don't know the specific amount of time, but obviously it's after the movie, which is I know stupid of me to say, but we just don't know how much time has passed since then. due to the fact of it doesn't really give us any time frame, but we do know that she's still Black Panther and he is the king of Wakanda, and that's pretty much all we know. And that they're introduced themselves to Ben Grimm, and that's pretty much it. And then it just says the Wakandans and the Fantastic Four will be returning.
Apparently, I don't know if you heard this, but people online were saying that in the trailer, that Disney did a bad job photoshopping because they're saying that you uh, there is something in the background that was in one scene that they tried to edit out of another scene and they did a really bad job of it, so it's making it seem like it's supposed to be something significant, similar to in Brand New Day, not Brand New Day, No Way Home, for the Spider-Man trailers, how when Peter Parker was going up against the villains, it was supposed to be, they photoshopped out the other two Spider-Men. People are saying that it's a similar situation. I believe I heard, I don't remember if it was like I most people were saying it was a building, but there were some people saying that it was a
A
like
ship.
maybe Doom's ship in the background. So he came with the Fantastic Four, leading to the idea that they're on the same side, and he's convincing people that, okay, I'm trying to help the multiverse by warning you of this big threat coming. Um, but I didn't notice it. I mean, even with people taking still shots and like highlighting it, like, oh, this is where it's supposed to be. I'm like, I didn't see it. like,
No, that's fine.
yeah.
I'm just trying to think because like it doesn't. And here's my thought process on this. I get that they would go together because that's kind of the assumption it's feeling like. But what throws me off is we see the fantastic ship at the end of Thunderbolts. So it makes me think that either they all went with the Fantastic Four or they went in separate ships. Like you
Yeah.
can't. To me, you can't have both. And again, I'm saying that because of just what's happened. We also are assuming that that's the Fantastic Four that we've already seen, and I know that's also weird to say, but I'm wondering if it's like a decoy ship, meaning like Doom's got like fake ships, like he's got fake
Oh,
armors,
yeah. That's possible.
because that's
That's
also a
possible.
possibility as well, because he's known for his robotics. So that also wouldn't be that surprising. So it would be the same actors. So I do apologize. It would be more of like it would be like robot versions of them. You know what I'm saying? Like just to kind of because Doom's Doom. You know what I
I think I'm
You're
less.
leaning against that because because
I'm
Doom's going to be looking like a good guy at least for Doomsday.
Well, no, yes, I agree with that, but at the same time, I don't think that it's going to go that route, because you have to take a step back and realize that they have to pander to a majority of people that don't know the comics, don't know the full scope of what Doom can do. So they're really going to have to, they can't jump full force into like, oh, he can do this, he can do that, he can do this. Otherwise, people are going to get overwhelmed and get turned off by the movie. So they
Mm-hmm.
have to really like hold our hands, and I think that's part of the thing. Obviously, that's part of the thing that they're doing with these trailers, is getting people caught up and
No, I think you're right.
informing a people of what has been missed. But at the same time, at least for me, um, I don't really like that method, because, like, don't get me wrong, these trailers were good. I enjoyed them. They, painted a good picture. But at the same time, not everyone likes watching trailers. Like, a lot of people will skip the trailer because they're afraid of spoilers, and because we've gone through this trend where trailers were spoiled the movies. Like, Steph hates watching trailers. So when I show her one, unless I specifically watch it before and say, "Don't worry, there's no spoilers in it," she will not watch it.
Well,
Um,
the other thing too is I don't know if you remember Endgame's trailers were all
they're very
fake.
misleading. As Yep,
Well, I shouldn't say they were fake, but they were extremely misleading.
yep,
So like these could be the same. You know what I mean? Like I know
yeah,
it's weird to say, but it's these also could not be in the movie technically.
yeah. I mean, I don't think. I think the only one that will be in the movie will be the Wakandan one. I think the other three might not be.
Okay.
Um, but um, so the Russo brothers had come out, and I sent you this picture where they said a quote where it's like, "Don't think of these as trailers. Think of it
No,
as a
think of it
story
as
being told.
stories.
So it's like they're trying to add more to the overall story of the movie with well, not including this in the movie. I think because
Which it would be so. This will be, I think, the first time that's ever happened.
I kind of think so, and
I mean, like
that's
for
kind of
any
why.
movie,
That's
not just
kind of
not just
yeah.
Marvel, just like
No, in
all
general.
movies.
But that's kind of why I'm getting turned off by it, because it's like you're expecting people to now watch trailers to understand the movie, which I understand it's not much, especially because it's only a minute long trailer. Like, what's the big deal? But
No, it's
it's
still a weird concept that you like. It's also like, and we've talked about this too. Like, it's also bad. Like, in the grand scheme of things, awful because you would most likely lose audience, and we've talked about this a million times. Is like having too much to have to
Mhm.
watch to
Yeah.
watch the next thing. So like they have to be very careful on like what will make sense. Like for Endgame, you didn't necessarily need to watch all the movies to know what was going on.
Yeah. I
But
mean, yeah.
it was helpful, obviously, so you knew all the characters. However, you didn't have to.
Yeah.
And I think that I hope that they're going to do the same thing for Doomsday, and this is kind of their way of trying to alleviate that as much as possible. So it's like, oh, if you guys don't know who the X-Men are and you've never seen the X-Men, like here they are. Or oh, you remember this guy? He was
Yeah.
in the beginning of the MCU. His name is Steve Rogers. He was, he's here.
I think they did give a list of the movies that you should watch to prepare for Doomsday. I don't remember what the list was. I know that
It
some
wasn't
of
as
the
long as I thought it was. I'll
yeah,
tell
I
you
think it was
that.
I think it was like 6 movies, which
No, I think it was 8.
something like that.
Because I think
I know that there were some X-Men movies. There was the Fantastic Four.
I believe
I
they also wanted you to watch all the Avengers movies.
I know for a fact, obviously, because this is supposed to be a sequel to Endgame, they wanted you to watch Endgame. Clearly, but I
But
don't remember
also,
all of them.
there's also a rumor too that we're going to be time traveling a lot in this.
Oh, we're still sticking with the time travel. Hmm.
Well, I don't know if it's considered time travel now because of the multiverse, and if it's just multidimensional travel. Because technically, time only exists one way, and
Are
so
we
like
going back? Are we going back in time in one location, or is it jumping from multiverses and the time is going to be different in in the multiverse that they're in? Because that's a
I
difference.
I am under the impression we are going to be seeing what happened in Endgame, and it wasn't them going. They went back in time on their timeline, but then created other timelines. So therefore, now it's a point where timelines intersect. So you're hitting multiple timelines at the same time. If
If
you understand what I mean.
if they're doing like time jumps based off of like what like oh, this is what happened in Endgame because you did this, like I can understand that. But if it's like
That's more of
constant,
what. No, no, no.
if
That's
it's
more of what I'm
constant, like
saying.
oh, we're gonna continue
No, no,
going,
no. I
then it's
think it's
like
going to be specifically the points that they went
yeah.
to either drop off or pick up stuff. So there's going to be 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, now that I think about it, I wonder if you took them all out at the same time, then that would be one branch timeline. Correct? Or would it be each individual taking of one is a different
No,
timeline?
each one was a different timeline because each of them the idea was that they did it all at the same time so it wouldn't create like they could repair it all at the same time versus
No, no, they tried to, but remember then they had to go back in time further to pick up the last 2?
yeah.
No. It
No,
was
no,
pin
no.
particles in the Tesseract.
Yeah, no, but yeah,
Because Loki
the
took the Tesseract and then he became a storyteller god
yeah.
Loki.
Yep.
And he's the only one to
But
our knowledge that wasn't pruned.
it was Steve and
Tony.
Tony. It
They went
was Hulk, Clint and Maximoff. No, not Maximoff. Jesus. Black Widow.
yeah.
Um
No, no, but Black Widow.
and
Romanoff.
then Romanoff. Thank you. Jesus. Um and then there was Thor and Rocket. And then is that it? Because then there was Clint by himself when he tested it, which is theory that also
I'm just
created
trying to
one.
think. Well, because they weren't all in the same time at that point either. Because it was one, two, three, four. All right, so it was four.
Technically 5.
No.
It was 4 that happened in that one moment. But then Clint tested it, so that's 5.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. I forget about that one. You're correct. But also, do we count the one with Ant-Man? Or because he didn't actually go anywhere, he just no, he did. Did he?
I don't think he did, because I don't think his count,
Because it just
because
affected him.
so what I'm saying is that yes, it just affected him, but it literally only was him going back in time and then coming back. He didn't do anything. He wasn't he wasn't supposed to interact with anything. So as far as we know, he did what he was supposed to do, test just to literally make sure it worked.
Yeah,
Or
but he
no,
peed
it was an
himself.
accident. It was an accident. He he
Well,
he hit the button and then it did something and then he came right back. Correct?
no, I think the idea was they were testing it, and
No,
because
because
he was
I remember when he did it, Hulk got mad at him because he's like, now we have one less. Because he was talking about how, oh, I know what I'm doing. I've grew up
no,
with
that's
this
what I mean.
stuff.
That's but he the idea was he was going to test it and then it failed, so he couldn't. So we don't know what happened there. That's a whole nother thing.
Well, yeah, we don't know. Either way, like I think to the audience's
If
knowledge, he
any,
didn't
if
do
any, I was
anything.
going to say, if anything, that's the one that doesn't get its own timeline,
Yeah.
which I'm okay with, just because we never saw anything anyway, so it doesn't matter. All
Mhm.
the others, I agree with you.
Um. So okay, so then that means, Tony Stark. It was Tony and Ant-Man because they had to do 2 times because like you said, they failed the first time because Loki took it, and then they had to go back in time again to with where it was Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. So Tony did two incursions, which obviously, like you said, is the Loki storyteller. We
So,
know that story.
yes,
But now
yes,
he exists out of time, so if Doom comes and prunes that universe or whatever happens to it, Loki is unaffected.
yes. But his universe was already pruned.
Was it? I don't think it was.
Yeah. When he gets captured, they prune the universe and then he gets on trial.
Oh, right. Yep.
Because that's what they always do. They prune it and then they take individuals and try to figure out why they did it, what made them do it. So they try to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yep, you are correct. I did forget about that. Yep.
So but what we don't know is when he becomes God of storytelling, we are under the impression that every possible universe is now back, which means that one does exist again. Which is a whole nother thing to try to.
I mean, I don't think that all the prune universes have come back. I think it was more that he just protected the other universes from being destroyed.
I know, but I think the way it looks though is that it's like he brought back all the multiverse. So
I mean,
again, that doesn't mean you're absolutely right. It doesn't mean that that particular universe did it. It could be other branches in the timeline where like that one just doesn't exist because it didn't happen now.
So I'll take it. I think obviously now we're gonna have difference of opinion on this one. I
I
think
think
that
you're right.
no, I don't think the destroyed pruned universes will come back, but now it protects the already existing universes and it allows more to be created. Um, Versus you're saying that, because he's all universes are allowed to exist now. Doesn't mean that they're
Well,
necessarily back yet, but they can come back.
yes, yes.
So I don't think that is the case. But I
Well,
mean,
the reason there's a reason why I'm saying that, and it's because it leads to Secret War, which is the fact of they literally need to prune universes to save themselves. So
yeah,
it makes
they could
sense
still
of
prune universes because there's an infinite amount of universes. So there's
no,
always going to
that's
be
fair,
something new coming up,
and
especially
that's
with
also
Loki
fair.
being able to control and to carry the burden, I guess I could say. So that's still an
Yes.
unlimited amount.
Yeah,
Um,
and it'll also be interesting because the rumor is Loki's going to be in it, but I don't think he's been confirmed.
I think he has.
Has he been confirmed? I didn't
I
think he
thought
was.
I thought his name was on the list.
I didn't think it was. I think that was like one of the big names that I was surprised wasn't on the list. Well, I'm looking that up myself because I don't. That I think you might be right, and I don't.
There were so
Where's
many people that were listed, so it's like, it is what it is. Um, but I mean, like I
Yeah, you
told you
keep talking
before,
for a
is
second. I'm looking it up now.
I'm trying. Like I said before, I
No,
told
I'm
you
looking it
yesterday
up.
is that I know you are. Um,
That's
the
interesting.
anyways, the rumor is that there's a trailer coming for the Super Bowl, so we might get a sneak peek at what's to come, or it's just going to be another kind of teaser. Marvel did say that they were quite pleased with how these 4 trailers went, so there's a theory that they're going to be releasing more trailers like this for other characters. I think
Um,
Spider-Man is a thought.
you're
Um,
correct.
so that would be interesting.
But
Um,
what's interesting is my oh no, no, never mind. I found him. I couldn't see him right away. I couldn't see Thor. So I was like, I was like, I'm like, there's no way he's not. We saw the trailer.
there's
Um,
literally no
that's
no
it. No,
realm
that's
that
why I
ain't
was like,
it.
wait a minute, is this the wrong one? But I kept scrolling past him, so that's what was throwing me off.
Speaking of
So Loki is
Spider-Man,
supposed to be in it.
this made me. There's also a report now. Sony wants to dive more into their characters in the MCU, and they are very open to a joint relationship with Disney to make more Sony titles that are a part of the MCU. Um, so they're talking about bringing Venom in, more Spider-Man, other characters.
Well, because the idea is they want to make money, which I can't blame them.
No, yeah, I mean obviously it was a success, and all the fans are like, "You guys are too late. Why didn't you do this before? It would have been so much better if you guys just did it before." But
I think they've gotten to the point now where like they're realizing more so than they did previous was the fact that Disney's doing so much better than them that they can't even compete.
yeah,
I mean, I mean, don't get me wrong. Venom was their closest thing, and then it got ruined.
yeah, the last movie was kind of a disappointment.
And I think once they realized that Venom was ruined, that they're like, you know what, we're gonna need help.
They do need to do massive reboot. Another thing that I don't know if you heard, I don't remember when this was, January 11th. So
Well, they could also be doing like Amazing Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 4.
yeah, I mean that's been a rumor going around for a little while.
That's
now.
been a rumor for a long time. Well, since No
Supposedly,
Way Home.
yeah, supposedly, I think it was before though too.
No, it was, but then it was
Um,
like really like, oh, we believe it now because they're back.
Apparently, the Blade movie is officially nixed. Like they're officially done with it, and
But they're gonna
they're
put him in something else though.
they're going to put him in Midnight Suns.
That's what I
Supposedly,
thought.
it's
That's what
supposed to be
I
Black
heard.
Knight, Blade, Wong, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, and Man Thing. That is supposed to be the lineup for Midnight Suns.
Which I mean, all makes sense. Weirdly enough, Wong is the weirdest one out of the group, but it does make sense because he's the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he's the one out of out of place, but he still works.
Well, no, like because normally it would be Doctor Strange, but like it makes sense because Doctor Strange was the Sorcerer Supreme, and
Yep.
so because he is, it makes more sense.
Um,
I'm just curious on how that's going to look for Moon Knight in general, just because he might not be coming back.
yeah, that's kind of like the big one where that's what I was. Um,
You said the Black Knight, though, right? Also in that.
yep.
Okay, good,
The guy from
In the
Eternals.
No, no, no.
Yep.
I know. I just wanted to make sure.
There was one other thing that I wanted to talk about, but I can't find the screenshot that I took, so might have deleted it. So,
Okay.
um,
So you want to move on?
there. So 4 rumored new trailers that are supposed to be that tease. TVA,
Okay, that
Sam
makes sense.
Sam Wilson's Avengers,
Makes sense.
the Thunderbolts,
Also makes sense.
and a first look at Doctor Doom.
Okay, I mean, all those make sense because those would be the only four that are missing. So what other big movies coming out that Marvel or Disney owns that they'd be doing something like that? Because it wouldn't be Spider-Man, would it? Would they wait till then? That long?
What are you talking about?
Is Spider-Man after Doomsday or before?
Spider-Man is before. Spider-Man is in the summer.
No, meaning like, are they going to do like they did with Avatar? Is it going to be like movies coming out at the beginning of a movie?
Oh, they didn't specify. It's just
no, I know that's what I'm saying. So like, but would they wait that long? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm legitimately trying to figure it out. Or would they do all four on Super Bowl Sunday, spread out each quarter?
Could do that. I mean,
perfectly balanced as everything should.
I think they could also just drop it on YouTube because of how successful these first four trailers were. Like I said, it shows that people are still hyped and excited for this. So,
but also them hitting 1 billion views is no, it fell. It was perfectly balanced. No, because you're absolutely correct. Because they're getting the views that they need, so they're not worried about it. It'll be very curious to see what happens because I'm also, and I said this to you yesterday when we were filming something else, but I still think that they're going to be doing stuff on so they're gonna post it separately eventually, but it's going to pop up on the timeline first, or like the countdown.
And I know you were saying that there's a big one supposedly coming in October.
Well, I think I'm wrong now because they're saying that was all for the movies, like to like pinpoint moments in Endgame.
Okay.
So I might be wrong about that because I originally thought it was October, which I mean it still could be. It still could be, but I'm less inclined to think so because I don't think it would be a multi-purpose code, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
But imagine if we hit 10 billion and they do something else.
Keep releasing trailers, and they could hit that. They could hit that mark.
We just keep getting more and more stuff after.
That would take a lot of trailers because it was 4 trailers hit 1.6 billion views. If they want to hit 10 billion, that's a lot of views. It's more reasonable to hit 5 billion.
Well, all right, hear me out. I would guess that they would do it in like increments, like 2.5 or 2. You know what I mean? Like, and then they would keep going up. My point I'm making is just like, I wonder if they would, but they'd have to like announce it. You know what I'm saying? Like they'd have to be like, for them to do it properly, they would actually have to say, hey, we're now going to be doing this. If you get to this many views, you know, like a typical YouTuber.
Yeah.
Where it'd be like, if you get to this many views, we'll release this trailer. Here's a sneak peek, and it's just a blank screen. Oh, sorry, we have to wait until you get closer.
I don't know how I would feel about that, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if I would like that because it's like it's.
I agree with you that I would not like it. However, that would be great marketing, and they'd be making money off of the marketing, and they'd make their money back almost immediately from the revenue itself.
Possible, yeah.
And I don't mean for the full movie.
And you know what's funny is that they necessarily don't have to have people watching it. They could just have their own people just having the video on a constant loop to rack up those views.
No, not anymore.
What do you mean?
No, so YouTube has changed its algorithm type thing. So it's like it takes into consideration all the views and likes. So because one individual can only like it once, they take that into consideration to think that there's bots rewatching stuff over and over again. So it doesn't always count that as a view now.
So what you're saying is when I watch our videos back and it it still says that there are no views, our algorithm is thinking that I'm a bot and it's not counting my view.
Because you watch it too often.
I'm the only one watching it.
Actually, for you, it makes less sense. It makes more sense when I watch it on our channel that it doesn't count.
It does, but yeah, it does make sense for you, not like it not counting for you. That makes sense.
No, that makes more sense to me than it does for you.
It also doesn't make sense to me when I'm going to watch our shorts and I'm like, oh, I'll watch it and give it a bump up, and the views go down. I still don't understand that.
Mike, it's the algorithm. They don't trust you. You are an anchor. You are an anchor
crap.
being. You are bringing us down. All right. Speaking of anchor beings, let's move on to Ninja Batman versus Yakuza League.
Bit of a stretch.
I had to get there somewhere because if not, we would talk about this forever.
Okay.
So the movie starts with literally them waking up on their first day back from time traveling.
It does.
It made it seem like they had been there for not a full day.
They had been back for. I think they said it was like a month, but all of a sudden they just woke up because they said that they noticed things starting to be different as time progressed.
Oh, I took that completely different than you.
But it was they had just randomly woke up and things were completely different. Like there was no Justice League, there was no Robin had a full head of hair.
No, that's what I mean. So I took it as they just got back. So that's on me. I legitimately
if I remember correctly, I think they said it was like a month that they were back because they in Batman had said like
that's when they saw the world a month ago.
Yeah.
Not Batman's people. I'm talking about the Yakuza League. They saw so that does make a little bit more sense. So anyway, I thought this was actually this was really good. I also like the forced anime stuff in it as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be jumping around a little bit, but my personal favorite was when Wonder Woman does like the ending credits of an anime, and Harley Quinn opens the door and she like closes it right away, and then she breaks in and starts singing more. I cracked up so much because it's like it proves to me that like it's because of the compounding of the universes kind of folding together cause so much rift into like the dimension that it causes them to like do things that are not even just out of character but like a break in like reality like completely. So like we saw the camera crew and everything of like filming her do the ending credit scene, and I just think that's hilarious. I also like so when it starts it literally is raining men. Hallelujah. And I just like how Batman and Robin are like, what is going on? And Gordon's like, this has been happening every day for the last month. And they're like, no, we did this yesterday. I was like, no, we didn't. And then they beat them all up, and then they go up into space. No, they notice Japan floating above them because Japan doesn't exist in that world anymore, or that timeline. I forget how they phrased it.
They said Japan is missing and they cannot contact the Justice League.
Yes. The Justice League and the Watchtower don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So Batman and Robin go up, and then Nightwing and Red Robin deal with the Flash on accident. Well, not an accident. I guess it's more of like they weren't expecting it, and then he comes.
Wasn't that early that he showed up?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
So, like, they go into Japan, right? And then what they do is all of a sudden we see the Green Lantern.
Yep. No.
And then it's Aquaman, and then it's Wonder Woman, and then when Wonder Woman like breaks it up, that's when the Flash teleports himself down to Earth. So it's like it's not directly at the same time, but it's meant to look like it.
Yeah.
Even though that's not visually how it happened.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Also, I find it hilarious that Jason Todd is the one that makes the Flash hungry.
Yeah. He also just makes him more hungry.
I just find it hilarious that I was dead set thinking they were grenades. Or mines.
Yep.
And the fact that they turned into like things to make you hungry made me laugh even more because I'm like, that's so out of character.
Just shot out smelling salts.
Pretty much. And then he had to leave, which is even funnier. Which does make sense, obviously. So then on the fake Japan, I guess you would call it, Batman and Robin work with Wonder Woman and her people. We find out the lay of the land, and that apparently there were many divisions of Japan, one of which was the Yakuza, which is the main one. Now, it was Wonder Woman's group and then Doomsday's group.
Yep.
And Doomsday got killed by the Man of Steel, um, who's faster than a speeding bullet and can leap over tall buildings.
Stronger than stronger than a locomotive.
Yes, they used everything on that one.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, they were really pulling from the comic, like really trying to emphasize all the the comic origin stuff.
Like we want to make sure it's very clear that we are calling him everything but Superman.
Yep.
Like it's Superman without us saying he's Superman. And Wonder Woman with the golden eagle tattoo, which was awesome.
I thought that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So then they fix up the ship, and Batman is going to leave with Robin, and then that's when the Man of Steel comes, rips up the Batwing, flings everyone around pretty much. Joker and Harley Quinn help out, which is a whole other weird cluster of stuff. Also, just spoiler alert here. Joker has the lowest screen time out of anybody.
Yeah, he literally showed up for that one scene and then was gone for the rest of the movie. I expected him to come back later, like
I thought he and Harley were gonna try to fix it so he could then satisfully, like, actually take out Batman after, like, without the universe
or try to take over, like end up being the man in charge or something, you know. But no, he just disappeared.
Yeah, so then Robin gets captured and goes to his grandfather's house. And Joker helps Batman get back to regular Gotham, which isn't regular Gotham technically.
Their universes, back to their universe,
which it's still technically not either until they fix the time continuum, but whatever. And so they don't have Robin. So then now the group, excuse me, regroups. So it's all the Bat family coming together to try to figure out what they're going to do. And then they Megazord it, or Voltron it, I should say.
Yeah.
I just love how I was like, wow, they really changed the animation. And then it's Alfred going, yeah, so how do you guys think about it? And they're like, all right, we're good. And he's like, no, like, did you like it? And none of them answer.
Just completely ghost them.
Yeah. So then they all get on the ship and they go back to Japan. And this is where it gets real fun because then they split up and start taking out the Yakuza one at a time. It was...
So something that you're skipping over, like, a big point, which I really did like, is that you said that Robin gets taken to his grandfather, but we find out very early in the movie that Raish was the one in charge and had sabotaged everything.
So when Superman stops the Batwing from flying, that's when we find out it's Ra's al Ghul the whole time.
I really liked that, and it made it seem like, they made sure to point out that Raish was the one that had caused everything to go. He's like, I basically created a multiverse where he's like, what if Superman didn't fall in Kansas, but he fell over here? What if, what was it? The King of the Sea it actually became like King of the Pond or whatever it was that he said.
Yeah. What about the people? Yeah, the people are there's what would happen if there was a group of people who live in the lake, and then they then are they have the queen as a baby with a Yakuza, and then he becomes leader and is now a general of the Yakuza.
Yeah,
what happens if a gambler, you know what I mean, runs out of money? I forgot what it was, but it was something, and then she gains great power.
Which one was that one?
Green Lantern.
Okay. And I really like that they used Jessica Cruz for this. I like that they gave spotlight to her, especially because they're talking about doing that for, the main DCU and bring her in. So, I like that they spotlighted her.
And then also Flash getting hit by lightning in a hot spring, making him the fastest man alive.
Yeah, Flash was just a petty criminal. He was nothing of significant, just some random dude that was. And
now he's the fastest man in the world.
But I like that it was literally just Raish manipulating the timeline. It really pointed out like how smart and actually how powerful he really is. Um, and
Also, unaffected how everything was going as well. Like, even though his plans were literally falling apart in front of him, he was
he was
just
just
kind
like,
of
yeah,
like,
yeah, I'll make do. He like had
I'll,
backup after backup after
I'll
backup.
figure it out. Let's be
Um,
honest.
and then I may, obviously it makes it seem like, we had talked about it in the last movie, is like, oh, it was strange that we didn't see Raish, but now it was like when he saw what happened over there, it's like this set off his plans in motion to adjust the timeline and then like make it so that way he became all powerful. um
Yeah, and have the Justice League be his pawns, basically. But
yeah,
he had made it very clear Wonder Woman was the only one he couldn't fully corrupt.
yeah, which he's, and then it became to the point where it's like, it's, like, let her be until she becomes a real big problem, then you take her out.
Yeah.
um
No, no, absolutely. But the idea was he obviously wanted her as a part of his Yakuza League, but it didn't work out that way.
yeah,
And I would imagine that Doomsday was the same way because he made Doomsday go there, which means he couldn't control him, so he had Superman take him out.
yep. um
So yeah, so then they get to Japan and then they start fighting each of the individual league members. So it's Wonder Woman and Batman versus Aquaman. It is it is Nightwing versus Jessica the Green Lantern. And it was Red Wing and Red Hood facing the Flash.
red red wing.
Red Robin, sorry, not Red Wing.
Okay, I was like,
Sorry.
I was like, who's Red Wing? Okay.
Sorry, Red Robin and Red Hood. My apologies. Also liked his helmet, Red Hood.
Yeah, I like that. It had that like more classic feel with the anime style. Yeah, I liked that.
It was more face than hood, and I liked that weirdly enough.
Yeah,
Like even though it was obviously a mask, it was like it looked more like a face.
yeah. It
Um,
had the facial features,
yes. Like the
and
kind of
I
like
mean, in the classic, like when he's talking, the mask is moving and stuff, not just
yeah,
a blank face.
correct, and I like that. Um, so Nightwing did some ninja magic where he had a fake robot body that defeated Jessica. Um, Batman and Wonder Woman were able to cause massive explosion. Well, technically it was Batman, but Wonder Woman held him down or helped him hold him down, and Aquaman exploded because of water turning into water.
Yeah, there was a sonic explosion,
Well, it was water turning into hydrogen and
and
oxygen,
then back
and
back
then
to
back
water.
again caused an explosion. It was just perfect.
Yep.
And then he was taken out along with Jessica, and then the Flash was taken out because Red Hood put him on a simulation, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because I was like, how is he not catching up? Like, what the hell is going on? And then I'm like, oh, that all makes sense now.
Yeah, that one was a little trippy. Like that one.
Well, because I was like, there's no way he's either going to get tired, which he did obviously, but I was like, he's either going to get too tired, but like he seems to keep catching up. So like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, okay, it was fake.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was a fake vending machine, even better, that takes him out.
Yeah. It was all calculated that you would stop to get a snack.
Which I mean is accurate.
No, it is, but it was just so funny that was like, it was just the way that it was so important that it had to be pointed out.
Yeah. And then Superman comes in, and boy is he a menace right away. He rips with laser eyes, heat vision, slicing up the parkway or whatever you want to call it that's underground.
Yep.
And then he just starts pounding away with his fist to just cause a lot of damage.
Trying to take out the two Robins.
Yep, and fails because Wonder Woman saves them. And then Batman gets his big suit and starts beating on Superman.
It's like incredible on how how these two movies, and I'm assuming, I would like to assume that there's going to be more movies to come with it as well, because if these two are a success, is like Batman has constant gadgets where it's like he starts with one big thing and then it just keeps getting like into a smaller thing and eventually it gets to a small thing, and when that one's destroyed it turns into a big mech. It's like that doesn't make sense. It's like
I
starts
know.
with a tank, goes to a car, then goes to like a briefcase, back to a mecha suit. It's like that one should have been higher up on the list.
And then it got broken into little pieces to cause the red sun to happen
Yep.
in the divot. Because the thing that got me was I knew they meant something when they were showing us get dug into the wall, but I definitely wouldn't have guessed that.
I wasn't coming together.
I
Like
honestly thought it was going to be
even like
kryptonite.
even when it fully came to be, I was like, what are they getting at with this? Because they started like doing the prism thing. I'm like,
So
what?
because you saw a lot of red, that's why I was like, oh, red sun.
I missed the red.
So what's weird is, and I think visually it might have they either screwed up or they didn't. It it didn't look red where it needed to be, if you understand what I mean. But it was red. So
Mhm.
like it's weird to explain because it looked like it was like red in the middle and not towards the bottom,
Mhm.
which would be where you would want it because that's where Superman is.
I
But
mean, even
that's
still,
minor
as long
stuff.
as long as he's exposed to it, then it does its effect. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and then
like
I
I said,
also
I
like the
missed the
kryptonite
red.
to the
So when I was
face.
just seeing all the prism
Boom.
lights, I'm just like,
I also like the kryptonite brass knuckle right to the face.
that one. Yes, that was good. I mean, it was classic Batman playing mind games. Getting under his skin so that
Well,
way he can.
I think for me, I was more like, I understand Batman doesn't get scared. I get that, but I'm
Yeah.
like, he didn't even have like a little. So I was like, well, what is this his plan all along? And then he's like, I knew this was gonna happen. Then boom, right in the face, and I went, oh, because he wasn't expecting kryptonite to exist. That's why. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess that makes a lot more sense.
I mean, I'm assuming he didn't know about it because
Well, I would assume you're correct. I would assume you're correct.
Um,
Um,
but I really I did like that. Like I liked how they took the Superman, like the new evil Superman take on this, and I unlike other evil Superman, I think this was like I said, it was a fresh take, and I think it worked really well because it was just he was a servant, not an evil god that was ruling over all men.
which I weirdly enough I think made it even better.
Yeah, yeah,
It's as weird as that sounds. It's like because it wasn't his idea,
yeah,
and I think that's what made it scarier, but also better. It's hard to explain, but I get your point. Like Raj controlling him without actually controlling him, which is a weird statement to say because it's like, but you get my point.
yeah,
Um, it really worked.
yeah.
Really worked. And
And I liked, like I said, I liked how Batman was able to manipulate him into making mistakes with his emotion once he was defeated with the Red Sun, and how it got like it made him vulnerable and whatnot. Um, and then, I mean, it obviously carried over to all the other characters, but seeing seeing his alternate version and what he was set like in like lit a fire under him to become a better hero
so
instead
I
of a
was
tyrant.
so we're gonna back up just a little bit because I want to talk more about that because there was only one thing that didn't make sense during that whole thing, and I'm gonna
Okay.
talk about that in a minute. So Raj Al Ghul like outsmarts Batman for a bit, which is stereotypical of Raj, obviously. Um, and then they start to mess with the timeline to try to not mess up the timeline, but they try to hold the mechanism into their time so they can then adjust it to fix
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
When that happens, and this is what Mike was talking about, other versions of the league are seen like they're being like flashed into it, and Superman is the only one that has one, where everyone else had more than one, which I thought was interesting.
No, Superman had more than one.
We only ever so when we saw it, it was only one guy.
No, there were a couple.
I
There,
only remember one
no,
because
there
all
was a
the
couple.
others had at
There was
least.
there was one big one that was hovering over him and watching him.
Oh,
But when they were panning into the scene,
it was
it was
multiple.
all the other versions of him.
Never mind.
Um, but yes, technically it was the like I'm gonna say their version of the Superman, like
That's what
that
I'm
Batman's
assuming too. Yeah,
universes.
but without boots. I want to make that very clear. He had
Without
no
what?
boots on.
Oh, you didn't have boots? I didn't see that. I was not paying attention to the feet.
I thought it was odd because I'm so used to the red, and so it was like flesh color, and I was like, what? And then it was like, oh, he's barefoot like this Superman. That's weird. Okay.
That's okay. That's interesting.
I'm wondering if it's just because they're supposed to be the same person, obviously,
Hmm. Yeah,
because
maybe.
that is supposed to be the version of Superman that's on Earth, but like manipulated, obviously.
Yeah.
But it just threw me off for a second. But that was the only thing. Everyone else was perfect. I mean, them coming back to help out was incredible. Wonder Woman not dying but getting Harley Quinn to help was also funny.
Yep.
It was all perfect. And then in the end, Harley Quinn saves the day, and Raja Ghul loses.
And he gets away.
Do we know what happens to him? Does he like get back to regular Gotham, or does he stay on Japan?
I
I
don't.
don't know if it's ever clear, right?
I think he's in regular Gotham because at that point when he gets away, Japan is
Oh, that's
fallen.
right. That's right. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
So
Because Japan.
he's in well, quote unquote regular Gotham.
No, but I get your point. Yeah, yeah. He's in what's supposed to be the regular timeline.
So yes, and I mean everyone at this point is in the regular timeline because obviously
Yes,
once
yes, 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 yes.
it was fixed. Um,
And then they leave, and then they bring Japan back into space time? Question mark. And then they're gone.
yep, and they vow to rule Japan in a more hero-like manner because they were inspired by their alternate selves.
Yes, all the alternate versions of themselves.
Yep.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I thought, yeah, it was good. I know I told you yesterday about how it kind of took me out of it because of the change of the voice actors. Harley Quinn being different, Batman being very different.
I think they all were different, to be honest with you.
I don't remember the Robins. That one I will.
I,
That one
I
I will
will be
say.
honest with you. They could have been the same, and I wouldn't have noticed. I'm not going to lie to
Yeah.
you. The others were more obvious than.
Yeah, and I think it was just so funny about how I said the DC is always really good about keeping the voice actors the
And then as
same,
soon
and
as
then
you
it was
watch
like
this,
like
you're
the
like,
next
"Oh,
video is like completely different.
this is a
That would
sequel, and nobody's the same."
it really threw me for a loop. But I mean, yeah, it was good. I think I liked the first one better.
I like the
Um,
second better, and we've discussed that.
yeah, and I mean, obviously from your reactions yesterday and today, just you thought it was so much better. Um,
And I don't even like. I don't know. Like I don't. I'm not. Maybe because I think it was more the fact of like it felt more action packed, but we also got to see everyone fight, which I think is what I liked more.
yeah,
Where we didn't really get to see much of that in the first one, but at the same time, like I get it. Like we don't know how successful this is going to be, so we're going to focus only on Batman. So like I get it. However, like this one I felt was so much better just because of like seeing all the Robins like fight all
yeah.
the Justice League members were awesome as well. Seeing Damian strapped up to a, a candy machine or a crane machine was hilarious because it was the dumbest. That was more of a Joker trap than a Raja Ghul trap in my
Oh
opinion,
yeah, yeah.
which is why I find it hilarious. Plot twist: Raja Ghul was actually Joker the whole time.
Joker was fighting himself.
Basically. But I also like it when they go back to the regular timeline. We have Damien with his hair cut back, and he's
Yeah.
crying about it. I don't want to be out there like this.
Yep.
You can try some wigs, buddy.
um, and then obviously we find out that the timeline is reset because the Justice League calls him and says like, "Hey, we're having our meeting. Why aren't you here yet?" Um,
Yes, and the Justice League is the same Justice League that
that
fought,
we saw
which is nice.
in yep. But yeah, like I said, it was good. Don't get me wrong. I had no I it was like the voice acting kind of took me out of it, and because like it felt from the first movie to the second movie, some of the characters, specifically Batman, the personality was a real drastic difference. So like that one kind of threw me for a loop at the beginning. It took a little bit for me to get used to. But overall, a good movie. I'm not going to take that away. And like I said, I'm assuming if it continues to be a success, they can continue making, continue making sequels.
Also true.
There's the Joker got away, Raish got away. There's plenty of villains that they can go about that.
You're absolutely correct.
But I'm curious what Doomsday was like as in that universe. Very curious.
I mean, it makes sense that they killed him off right away.
I think they kind of had to, otherwise he would turn into a real menace. And I'm curious if they kill him off, if he was able to come back, because they never really specified that.
No, it sounds like he killed them and it was done because Superman destroyed that entire civilization basically, and they took over. So I mean, you're right. He could be just chained up downstairs somewhere. To be honest.
Yeah, that's what, my point is, because Doomsday he can't die.
That's more like, well, we don't know that because in that Raj could have made it different where he could die and not come back.
I mean, possibly, yeah.
That's more plausible, weirdly enough, than anything else. To be honest with you,
it's more plausible that he changed his mind than the fact that he actually just died.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's funny.
So let's move on to your character spotlight, sir.
Okay.
Who is it?
My character spotlight this week, which I kept out from the beginning. This week we got confirmation from James Gunn that he greenlit a project that is diving into the new gods. He greenlit a show, an animated show. Where is it? There it is. That is not it. All right, must have got rid of it. But anyways, he greenlit the show. It is Mr. Miracle. He was first.
This is a show it's been announced.
It's an animated show that he has greenlit. Yep, he is officially DCU canon.
Okay.
He was first introduced in April of 1971, and he had a couple of new iterations. My understanding is that there are three versions. Two of them are humans, and one of them is a new god. So
as we all are.
Human or new gods?
Yep.
Sure. So a small little bit of history about this character, which I think is kind of interesting. Mr. Miracle was one of 4 DC comic series that was created by... Mr. Miracle was one of 4 DC comic series in Jack Kirby's ambitious but short-lived Fourth World saga. The Fourth World is a meta-series of connected comics that was drawn by Jack Kirby from 1970 to 1973. Which I think is, like I said, from Jack Kirby being the creator, I think that's kind of very interesting.
Who's Jack Kirby again? Why does that name sound so familiar? Am I stupid?
Jack Kirby is the creator of oh my god.
I'll look it up.
Mr. Fantastic's wife. Oh my god.
Invisible Woman?
Yes. Sue Storm. Sue Storm. Thank you. Jesus. Could not get that going.
Sorry, I was like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, the name sounds very familiar, but it's not clicking.
Yeah, Jack. Here, I'll click on him and go to his link.
No, that's fine. I believe you.
Where? Let's see. In the 1960s, Kirby co-created many of the company's major characters, including Ant-Man, the Avengers, Black Panther, Fantastic Four, Hulk, Iron Man, Silver Surfer, Thor, and the X-Men. Um, oh, interesting. Once he created all those and left Marvel in the set in 1970 and went to go work for DC.
Oh, so he's that's so funny. So like his name's on all Marvel, but he hasn't been in Marvel in like decades. That's interesting.
Yeah. Um,
He's like, I
he
made my legacy next.
the one of the big things about this, which I had pointed out when the casting for Fantastic Four got announced, was that Jack Kirby was one of the main creators of Invisible Woman, and the actress that played Invisible Woman, I believe, was his granddaughter. I don't remember if it was daughter or granddaughter.
Which one? Are you talking about the most recent one?
Yeah, Vanessa Kirby. That she's literally like the like was descendant of the creator. But anyways, first character to talk about Mr. Miracle is Thaddeus Brown. Thaddeus, I'm just gonna call him Brown because Thaddeus sounds
I
weird.
was gonna say it's easier. Trust me.
Brown is a circus escape artist whose stage name is Mr. Miracle. As the first escape artist to use the name Mr. Miracle, Brown earns a modest living and practices his art into his later years. Brown meets Scott Free as he is practicing an outdoor escape with his longtime friend and assistant, Oberon. Scott then aids Brown as he is being coerced by intergang thugs working for intergang member Steel Hand. While practicing an escape of being tied to a tree with the projectile speeding towards him, Brown is killed by a sniper working for Steel Hand. After Brown's murder, Scott takes his costume and the mantle of Mr. Miracle. Following the two DC rebirths or reboots, the New 52 and DC Rebirth, Brown's history remains intact, though it is claimed that he may have faked his death. Brown is also revealed to have been part of a group called Justice Society Dark in the 40s. The next character is Shiloh Norman. Norman was abandoned by his mother when he was only an infant, and his desire to escape was fostered in an abusive orphanage.
They are not related.
Who? Vanessa?
Vanessa Kirby and Jack Kirby are not related.
Really? I read a bunch of things saying that they were. They're not?
It's nope.
Oh wow. Okay.
Everyone. So what's funny is apparently Jack Kirby's not his real name.
Oh really?
His real name is Jacob Kurtzberg, but he goes by Jack Kirby.
Okay.
And so Vanessa's dad is a surgeon, and her grandfather is nobody famous. Nobody famous at all. And there seems to be no. Apparently, it was all fan speculation and no. And she herself was joking about being related to him, but actually, it's not.
So probably what I was seeing was her joking about it and people taking it and running with it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's awkward.
I just went because I was curious about that. Because I feel like I would have known that, and that's why.
I mentioned it to you a while ago when it first was announced.
I know. I don't think I registered who Kirby was. I think that was my other issue. Was like, who the heck is Jack Kirby? And I just let it go. Like, oh, okay. I probably went exactly like that, right? Oh, all right.
Probably. I don't know.
I think I did exactly that.
It was a year ago, so how am I supposed to remember now?
Like I'm supposed to remember. But anyway, I apologize. Continue.
I went with it because when I had mentioned it, you didn't correct me, so I assumed that.
I think I didn't care enough, or I didn't know. Both, maybe.
The internet, man. Remember, don't believe everything you hear on the internet.
No, true. I just found that hilarious because it literally is like, although many people think so, they are not actually related.
That's funny. Where did I leave off? Yep, Shiloh Norman was abandoned by his mother, and that led him to go into an orphanage, and it was abusive, so he had a fixation on escaping. Eventually, he runs away and ends up on the streets near the formal ward of Thaddeus Brown, the former Mr. Miracle, and he served as an occasional stand-in. When Brown is murdered by Steelhand, Scott Free avenges his death by taking on the identity of Mr. Miracle and bringing Steelhand to justice. Shiloh also works with Scott and his wife Barda, and Shiloh later becomes security chief of the Slab. For some reason, I kept seeing that as scrutiny. I'm like, that's not correct. I'm like, that makes no sense.
I'm waiting for him to say it.
So like I said, he becomes security chief of Slab, which is a maximum security prison. He later Shiloh Norman eventually later appears in other DC comic titles with as or associated with Mr. Miracle. Now, the big one that I wanted to talk about is the one that is New God. Scott Free is the son of Highlander, the ruler of New Genesis, and his wife, I don't know if it's Avia or Avia. As part of a diplomatic move to stop a war with the planet Apocalypse, Highfather agreed to an exchange of heirs with Darkseid, the ruler of Apocalypse. Scott was traded for Darkseid's second-born son, Orion. Scott grew up in one of Granny Goodness's orphanages with no knowledge of his heritage, but refuses to allow his spirit to break under the institution's training. As he matures, Scott rebels against the totalitarian ideology of Apocalypse, hating himself for being unable to fit in despite his unfailing defiance of the abuse he suffered. Scott is influenced by Metron to see a future beyond Darkseid. Scott joins a small band of pupils led by Hyman, a New Genesian living undercover as a hunger dog on Apocalypse. At these meetings, Scott brings Big Barda, a lieutenant in Darkseid's female Furies. I think I said Scott meets Big Barda.
Oh, okay.
That makes more sense. Eventually, Scott escapes and flees to Earth. His escape, long anticipated and planned for by Darkseid, nullifies the pact between Darkseid and Highfather, allowing Darkseid to revive his war with New Genesis. Once on Earth, Scott meets circus escape artist Thaddeus Brown, whose stage name was Mr. Miracle. Brown is impressed with Scott's skills, especially as supplemented with apocalyptic tech. Scott befriends Brown's assistant, a dwarf named Oberon. When Brown is murdered, Free assumes the identity of Mr. Miracle. Barda later follows Scott to Earth, and the two battle Darkseid, who seek to capture them. Eventually tired of being chased by Darkseid's servants, Scott returns to Apocalypse and wins his freedom through trial by combat. Scott later joins the Justice League International alongside Barda and Oberon. This recasts Scott and Barda as semi-retired superheroes who seek to live in peaceful civilian lives. In particular, Scott is recast as a hen-pecked husband who often finds himself on the receiving end of Barda's temper over her desire to live a quiet life on Earth.
Makes sense.
During his time in the League, Scott develops an intense rivalry with Manga Khan. Does this tell me anything about Manga Khan? Manga Khan, originally known as Lord Manga, is a DC Comics supervillain and an intergalactic traitor. A gaseous being, he relies on a metallic suit to give him form. He had a robot companion named Elron and was a foe of the Justice League International in the early 90s. Huh. Never heard of him. Khan repeatedly kidnaps Scott, convincing Scott's former manager, Funky Flashman, into forging documents that force Scott to work for Manga as his personal entertainer. To force him to go along willingly, Khan replaces Scott with a lifelike robot who is later destroyed by Despero. Scott ultimately escapes from Khan's clutches and reunited with his wife and friends, though the shock leads to Scott to quit the Justice League and take on Shiloh Norman as his protege. In September 2011, the New 52 rebooted DC's continuity, and in this new timeline, Mr. Miracle appears alongside Big Barda, flying around the ruins of Gotham City on Earth 2. Their purpose is revealed to find the mysterious new Batman, which is thwarted when both are attacked by Fury. Fury is the code name shared by 3 DC Comics superheroes, 2 of whom are mother and daughter, both of whom are directly connected to the Furies of mythology, and the third who is an altogether different character. So yeah, that is Mr. Miracle. Let me go down to where his powers and abilities are. There we go. Like all new gods, Scott Free is functionally immortal. Having stopped aging around the age of 30, he has developed an immunity to toxins and diseases. Scott has superhuman strength, agility, speed, coordination, and reflexes, along with incredible stamina. Due to his exhausting and rigorous life on Apokolips, his body has tremendous resistance to extreme temperatures, physical injury, psychic influence, and he is capable of extremely rapid recovery. Scott has a genius-level intellect and is knowledgeable about much of the universe. During his life on Apokolips, he was instructed by He-Man in the science and use of advanced Fourth World technology. He is a genius inventor who has designed most of the equipment and his costume, including his own mother box. Scott was trained by Granny Goodness as an aero trooper. Although he despises violence and is often portrayed as a pacifist, he is still an exceptional warrior, instructed in all combat techniques of Apokolips and very skilled with weapons. On one occasion, he was able to beat Big Barda. Also, he is a master escapist and acrobat. He is considered better at escapes than Batman, and much of his skill is the result of his advanced physiology. Scott is heir of the Alpha effect, the antithesis of Darkseid's Omega energy. And antithesis? Is that? Anyways.
I think it's so. I believe so. If you're trying to say it's the opposite, then yes. But I think I don't know if it. You know that pronouncing words are not my best. It's the correct word, but I don't know if you're saying it 100% correct.
Anyways, the Alpha effect is the opposite of Omega's energy. The power was almost unlimited and allowed him to manipulate energy in many ways. Also, Mr. Miracle used his godlike powers to resurrect his wife and battle against Steppenwolf and Kalibak, temporarily stopping the war between New Genesis and Apokolips. Later, Scott eventually relinquished his heritage. Scott possesses greater power as the embodiment of the anti-life equation. The ability is fueled by rage and negative emotions. The anti-life equation can give any being the power to dominate the will of all sentient and sapient races and alter the reality, space, time, matter, and antimatter at a cosmic level. Mr. Miracle proved to be powerful enough to fight Superman and Orion together. Wow. In the New 52, Mr. Miracle retains the status of a new god and has been reborn more powerful than before. Mr. Miracle is able to lift at least 50 tons. He is shown to have high level of invulnerability, enduring space's rigors, surviving the explosion of 3 boom spheres, resisting attacks of powerful beings such as Darkseid. His combined reflexes, speed, agility, and make him able to dodge almost any attack, even from 2 apocalyptic assassins, as he did with Lashina and Kanto. In addition, Mr. Miracle has limited healing factor and a great variety of mental tricks that allow him to break free from psychic influence. He is still a super escape artist and an expert combatant. Um, like I said before, he was able to fight off Fury, which I didn't mention before. In the New 52 is Wonder Woman's daughter.
Oh, okay.
The equipment that he has, Mother Box, we know what that does. Boom box,
Mm,
transfers, super boom. His
yes.
costume, Mr. Miracle's costume is magnetically sealed and provides limited protection from damage and fire. It contains numerous hidden pockets. Each glove and boot has a pocket and utility belt that contains half a dozen items or more. That one of those secret pockets hides his mother box.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
his mask contains circuitry for his mother box and a life support unit. The circuit let Scott use his mother box hands free, and the life support system lets him survive extreme hostile environments. His gloves have wide cuffs that hold Scott's multi-cube and assorted picks. In addition, the gloves can fire consecutive blasts and generate enormous electrical power, and contain a fingertip laser for fine welding and burning.
There you go.
Um, his hidden circuits have the ability to create fission blasts and mini shockwaves. His boots contain laser jets capable of burning almost any surface. His cape is made of memory fibered from New Genesis. Scott's mother box can transmute the cape into a cocoon that can withstand a sizable explosion, but this can only be done once. Um, he has aero discs, thin metal plates about a foot across. The new gods use them for personal travel, and they can reach speeds of 250 miles per hour. Scott himself had modified his personal discs considerably for battle, and they can be attached to his forearms to use them as shields or blades. And the last thing is he has a multi-cube, which is a spherical device for his mother box. The cube was designed by Mr. Miracle to use the transmutation power of the mother box to create a number of preset mechanisms in its interior. All of these functions are much easier to perform than improvised transmutation. They can be activated in stressful situations. It is small enough to be hidden in the palm of his hand. It is not sentient, but is capable of interpreting complex commands and recording data. The multi-cube can fly under its own power and follow the mental commands of Mr. Miracle. It can also use the transmuting power of the mother box to create several hundred feet of swing line. Besides the cable, the cube can produce smokescreen or fire suppression foam. And of course, the very simple thing is it can create light. It can create lifelike holograms, a blinding flash, or laser capable of cutting through a steel cable or handcuffs.
Nice.
In the hologram mode, the cube can record extended scenes or make a complete holographic recording. And with it being able to record, it can play it back, obviously. The cube can emit a powerful sonic beam that can spring lock or shatter a brick wall. And it could also stun an unprotected human. And that is Mr. Miracle. Like I said, with James Gunn announcing Mr. Miracle animated series in the works, which is supposed to focus on, like I said, the new god, Mr. Miracle, and Big Barda. Figured we'd give a little bit of a...
Which makes sense because this is the first phase, which is supposed to be gods and monsters.
Yes, which I think is interesting because he said that Darkseid wasn't the big bad. So it doesn't necessarily mean that he won't be featured in it.
Well, I was also going to say he just isn't the big bad. That he could be whatever. Like he could be there and exist.
There's a lot of fans going around and like starting to cast who should play Darkseid in the DCU, and one of the big ones that I'm a fan of. I don't know if you heard his voice, but the voice actor, I don't know if he's played other roles, but I know him from Um, he played Kratos in the new
Oh,
God of War games.
okay. I actually know
Um,
what he looks like, I believe.
do you?
Because isn't he mad about who's going to be playing Kratos in God of War, the
I
movie?
don't know if he's mad, but I think it's hilarious because it's the voice actor who played Thor in the second game,
Yes.
which is hilarious.
Yes. No, and then people, he's like, this is what you want. And it's like, well, I, the guy is big enough and built enough that like, he could build himself up. He'll just have to shave his head, which I'm pretty sure he'll be willing to do.
He played someone in Sons of Anarchy, didn't he? The actor.
Yes, he was also in The Walking Dead.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. He was one of the people, like the skull people, the ones that wore like the weird faces.
I stopped watching after season 6. So like when they did the guy with the spike hammer or spike bat, that's when I stopped.
Oh yeah, okay. I believe it was 2 seasons after that. Don't quote me on that. But it was after that, and it was like a tribe of like. It looks like they wore like zombie faces on their head.
Oh yeah,
Um,
like they like they hid with the zombies. I heard about them. Yeah, they were
yeah,
supposed to be like the
he's
real
he was
like big
yeah
bads.
he was the leader, I believe, of the group. I believe. Um, and he's done Sons of Anarchy. He's also been he was the he was the main character of The Outsiders, which I think only lasted 2 or 3 seasons, and then he's been
Oh,
kind of just bouncing around doing other things. But he will always be OP to me, which is his character in Sons of Anarchy.
yeah, because I knew you were. I remember you being a bigger fan of that show.
Oh, it was so good,
I want
so
to
good.
see. Uh, okay, Christopher Judge is. I want to see if he has done any other characters or whatever.
Well, I don't know what he's done. Like I did, that was the first time I found out he had done. Um,
Oh,
where is he? Oh, here he is, Ryan Hurst.
oh, for the one who's playing Kratos now in the show.
Yeah, he
So
doesn't remember the Titans.
Christopher Judge voiced Magneto in X-Men Evolution.
Oh,
Let me
interesting.
see. Let me see if there's a list of other things.
Oh, he's voiced Lobo in
Oh, has
DC.
he?
Yeah, that's interesting. I would have never guessed that. I think that's pretty much it. Obviously, he was in The Walking Dead. We already know that. Sons of Anarchy. We already know that. Treasure Island. Interesting. He's in The Outsiders, which we already just. Oh, it doesn't show me because I'm only looking at movies and shows. I don't see video games. Duh.
Well, anyways,
No,
let's wrap
continue.
this up.
So yes, that's gonna yeah. So I mean, that's actually pretty cool. Just the fact that they're gonna be doing that. He was also in the Bates Hotel. Ooh, that's creepy. I'm uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable, actually. But he's been in a lot of things overall. But the good thing is, it's gonna be nice to see other people do stuff. That being said, if you made it this far into the video, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Next week, Mike and I are going to be talking about the 8-issue series of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Oh, so you do want to do that?
Well, I just found out I could do it
Okay.
because
Well,
it's only eight. Well, no, because I had to look it up, and I was able to at least get all 8. So weirdly enough, I can't get the collection, which really doesn't change anything if I could read them 8 individually.
yeah.
But that being said, we're going to be doing that, discussing any trailers that come out, and getting ourselves ready for Wonder Man coming out the following week after that. So for now, again, like and subscribe. Other than that, this is going to be Scott and Mike signing out of the Black Hill Podcast. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.